H&K P30 SK Variant 1.
The P30 development began in 2006, primarily manufactured for law enforcement and military. The early prototypes were referred to as the P3000 because it superseded the P2000, but after everything was refined, they decided to call it the P30 instead. And the one at the bottom is the one that I purchased, and that's called the P30 SK. In Germany, the K stands for compact. That's how it's spelled in Germany. The pistol can also be purchased in what's known as a Variant 3, which has a decocker right here. You just push this button down, you slide it down, and that drops the hammer safely. And you also have a manual safety that's separate from that. That way you can keep it cocked and locked if you need to, or you can drop the hammer and have a long double action trigger pull. Also, the Variant 3 model can be purchased with a decocker only.
Hey YouTube, it's Andy bringing you the Heckler & Koch P30 SK 9mm Variant 1 light LEM trigger. This pistol is amazing, guys. I just want to start off by saying that it is built like a tank, super rugged, is beautiful, and carries so easy. And you practically don't even realize it's there. I usually carry it in the 4 o'clock position. Just phenomenal. The pistol field strips very easy. It's just like the USP. So you start off by racking the slide back, engaging the slide stop. On the other side, there's a pin that you're going to push, slide stop pin, but you have to make sure that you get this ridge perfectly even with where that slide stop's going to start coming out at as you push. Keep pushing, and then you actually pull this pin out to where you start seeing the red. You see the red right there, and then the slide will come right off the rails, and you have your slide, barrel, and recoil spring assembly. I wanted to take the time, guys, to show you the simplicity and yet sheer elegance of the frame innards. And keep in mind, all the metal on the inside is Dow Corning anti-corrosive. It has the treatment done to it to where it will not rust even in salt water. Salt water is the harshest environment for handguns and all guns. So this requires very little oil, but it does have metal reinforced inserts in it. And let's disassemble the slide. This recoil reduction assembly is amazing and really reduces recoil. With all H&Ks, as you know, the cannon grade steel, polygonally grooved, excellent barrel. The service life of these barrels is like 90,000 rounds. It has a very nice polished wide mouth feed ramp. Everything on this pistol as well has the hostile environment finish. It's the most durable and longest lasting finish on the market, as well as being amazing for anti-rust, anti-corrosion. That's what sets the price point of these pistols to what it is. So you just put it back together just like you disassembled it. You want to make sure that the rails are lined up perfectly. Pull it back to where the ridge is, and you just pop that pin back in. Do a function check. She's good to go. Taking this thing to the range was an absolute pleasure. It shot so well. It is extremely accurate, despite the fact that I'm not used to this style of sight, but I have grown to really like it. Here is my target from the range. And this is from 7 yards. And you can see when really trying and focusing, you can put bullets on top of bullets. This one was a Battleship one from 10 yards, and I still got really close. I was really focusing, really trying to do a slow, accurate trigger pull where I would just stage it and then slowly. Being such a big fan of the John Wick movies, once I realized he carried this pistol, in the first movie he carried the P30L, which is the long slide version of this, I knew I just had to have it. I just had to give it a try, and I became a huge fan of this pistol. The light LEM trigger is really what makes it so much better than the other pistols. It's very light. You can just move the hammer back super light. And then it's a very crisp. Every trigger pull is the same right here. It almost feels like a striker-fired pistol. The reset is just a tad bit longer than the USP, but it's not bad, and I'm able to get rapid fire shots pretty easy. So, and look, that's not much take up there from the reset. See that one more time. Reset. It seems long, but it's not. The way the trigger is designed, it kind of creates an illusion that it's long. But as you can see in my rapid fire video, I can actually get triple taps on this just as fast as my USP and USP Compact. The feature of the LEM is if you get a round that doesn't go off, you pull the trigger, nothing happens, it's a light primer strike. Well, you can immediately do a restrike, but it's a longer, harder trigger pull, 11 pounds, because you have to cock the mainspring using manual strength. The fact that the reset does seem a little bit wonkier and longer than most pistols is because they're built for reliability. In case sand, muddy water gets in there where the trigger group is, it's meant to have more play in there so it will not fail. The LEM trigger stands for Law Enforcement Modification, and it's meant to have the same trigger pull every time. And it does feel like a striker-fired trigger. And the way that a police officer would reholster this is they would take their finger off the trigger and put their thumb down on the hammer and insert it into the holster. That way, if there's ever a piece of shirt or anything to make the hammer go back, you can feel it. And it's surprising how you can literally feel the hammer and like how much pressure is there. So I feel like it's a very safe way to carry. What sets this pistol apart from almost every other pistol on the market is the fact that you can completely customize the grip. It has interchangeable side panels and back strap. So you can make it small, medium, or large, 3 different sizes on each side. These are the interchangeable side panels, and you can see they're marked large for these top ones and medium, the ones on the bottom. And they also say left side, right side. This is the largest back strap, which you can see is marked with an L for large. And then this is the medium. You can see how it will fill up that palm swell. And you actually remove all these by driving out this roll pin right here. And then the rear back strap slides off, and then these panels slide off this way. This is definitely the most comfortable ergonomic pistol, especially the grip, that I've ever felt. Talking about the features on the frame, we have an enlarged trigger guard, which is prominent on almost every H&K pistol. Just like the USP Compact, it's pretty much the same exact trigger guard. Also, instead of the proprietary old school rail system that's on the USP, it has the 1913 Picatinny rail, which accepts way more accessories and is pretty much standard now on all pistols. As far as versatility, this pistol really shines because it is completely ambidextrous. With the magazine releases on both sides, great for combat, or just in case if you were to get like a finger blown off or something like your thumb, you could still actuate it with either your index finger, middle finger, any finger really. You could even use that finger. The way that these magazines, the fact that they're metal and they have a good slick coating on them, They're not polymer like some other manufacturers where they stick in there, especially with debris and sand. They really fly out. They drop so freely and can be inserted very well. And H&K prides themselves on their magazines. They are very proud of them, and they are very quality built. The fact that they have this puzzle piece cut makes it extra sturdy if it gets ran over or slammed down, whereas other cheaper manufacturers have like a lip right here that can easily fold under a lot of pressure. They also always have these rubber butt pads, so whenever you drop them, they do believe in reliability over capacity. You'll see other manufacturers with magazines this size have a couple more rounds in them, but these are built to never fail. The benefit of the ambidextrous slide releases is just in case maybe, you know, most of the time whenever you get shot, actually it's a fact that you usually get shot in your arms the most, because I guess you're trying to like stop and block or something. Anyway, if let's say your right arm gets disabled, you can use this side. It's completely left-handed friendly. The mags are interchangeable, and so you have the 10 rounds that come with it. And keep in mind, there's also a finger extension. There's a +1 bullet extension, +2, +4, and +5. And those can all be found at hnkparts.net. Also accept the H&K Compact 13 round mags. And I actually like carrying one of these when I'm carrying because I like having the extra grip down there. Feels perfect. But also the 15 round P30 and VP9 mags will fit, and H&K makes a 30 round stick mag. The slide serrations on here, I believe, are perfect as far as the industry standards go. They're perfectly spaced, they're grippy without being too abrasive, and reholstering is a breeze. I like the fact that it has these press check front slide serrations as well. Has a loaded chamber indicator that shows in red when you have a round in there. It protrudes a little bit more. Well, these are not the sights that come from the factory. These are iDot tritium night sights. I didn't know if I'd like them at first, but I really grew to like them with the big tritium white dot up front and the vial in the rear. Come to find out, the very first gross motor skill you learn as a toddler is to stack a block on top of another one, and it's just really fast for follow-up shots because you just naturally want to stack it and line it up. The ones that it actually came with from the factory are these luminescent 3 dots, and they glow when you charge them with light. They're basically glow-in-the-dark sights. They do glow very bright. However, there is an LE model, stands for law enforcement, that's just like those, but actually has a ridge. And you can use that ridge to rack it off your belt or your boot or something if your other hand gets damaged and you're unable to work the slide. Actually, tritium, so they glow all the time. They don't require charging of light. Another thing that it came with that I love this about H&K pistols, there's this key that you can use, and it corresponds to a little lockout feature right there in the back, and you put that key in there and you twist it and completely locks out the mainspring of the pistol, and you can't use the trigger. I think that's a great feature. Well guys, I hold this pistol near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorites. I love to carry it. I do think it is basically perfect. I haven't found very many pistols that meet this high quality of standards that HK has provided us with. Just the accuracy, the ergonomics, the ease of field stripping, all the accessories. And it's also, I do believe it's a great value for the money. It does have a very proven track record. As we all know, these pistols are built to be the most reliable pistols on the planet, and it has shown. Thanks guys so much for watching my video, liking and subscribing. Y'all have a good one.